is number 3 in my Mini Medicinal Garden Series. Mugwort. Nice, dark, green, leafy herb. Mugwort is related to ragweed, and it's used in the culinary world to mostly flavor foods. When you're cooking with mugwort, it is good, especially with proteins like steaks. You know how you might put some garlic and rosemary and baste your steak with? You can add mugwort. And it actually is very similar in flavor to sage and rosemary. So it works really, really well. It's also excellent with fish. It just flavors it. If you're going to saute your fish, you can throw some in the pan as well. I tend to baste my fish a lot as well when I'm sauteing it. So yes, you can also have mugwort raw or cooked. Now the leaves can be slightly bitter. So it's best if you're going to use it raw to maybe chop up a few leaves and add it in addition to your salad. Whatever other greens that you have in your salad, you can add some mugwort into it as well. It has an array of medicinal properties. But before we go on, if you are new to the Scaredy Cat Gardener, take a second and subscribe to the channel. Thank you for stopping by and hanging out with me today. I would say out in my garden, but here in my kitchen. I really do appreciate each and every one of you guys. If you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much for coming back yet once again. And for my channel members, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. Okay, let's do a little bit more yard work before we get started. I want to let everyone know that I am not a healthcare professional. I'm not a dietitian. I'm not a nutritionist. I am not a doctor. Okay. So everything that I am sharing with you is what's going to be going on in my garden. This is from my personal experience, my personal research, and I am sharing with you what I am doing. Consult your doctor before making any changes. Okay. And one more thing specifically for mugwort. I would like to also let you all know that I am not a lawyer or a legal advisor in any form or fashion. And again, anything that I am saying to you is what I have found from my personal research. And I am using the information for myself, and all the information that I am giving you is for educational and entertainment purposes only. That being said, mugwort is illegal in several states. States like New York and Louisiana, just to name a couple. Do your own research again, okay? I'm just telling you what I have found in my research because it can be very, very invasive and it can take over native plants. It has been banned for human consumption. This excludes possession, planting, cultivation, harvesting, and growing for aesthetic purposes, landscapes, decorative. It's okay to have mugwort. Just want to make that clear, okay? Now, back to the topic at hand. Mugwort has been used around the world for many, many years for a lot of different health benefits. Things like aiding in digestion, irregular menstrual cycles, high blood pressure. It can also be good as a sedative, aid, laxative, and a liver tonic. So it has a lot of medicinal usage as well as culinary usages. Good herb. It is best to grow this in a container because it is invasive. Another thing about mugwort, the leaves can be dried, rolled, and smoked. Moving right along. It can also help with things like endometriosis, circulation, and just generally relaxing. And although the leaves are bitter, it can be dried and used as a tea. And as most of you all know, teas are my favorite. When I have my herbs, making teas is one of my favorite things. I drink tea all the time. Sometimes I have to set aside my tea and say, okay, no tea today. Drink water. And I love water, but I get so full off of drinking tea. I typically at least have 2 cups a day. If I don't have 2 cups a day, I absolutely have at least 1 cup because I may have coffee in the morning. But if I'm not, it's tea in the morning and tea in the evening. I'm always drinking something warm in the morning and warm in the evening. Now, when it's really cold, like today, it's wet and cold, I would probably drink 3 cups because I want that middle of the day, just kind of snuggly, get warm cup of tea. Mugwort makes a good cup of tea. Let's go on to the back of the packet. Mugwort does need stratification. Cold stratification means it needs 2 to 4 weeks in a cold environment. It aids in it doesn't necessarily stop germination if for whatever reason you cannot stratify your seeds. They may not germinate as fast. They may not germinate as well. They may not germinate as all if you cannot cold stratify them. But that doesn't, it aids in the germination rate. So it aids in it. I don't want anybody to feel like if for whatever reason they cannot cold stratify some seeds, they can't even try. But I would just try with 1 or 2 seeds. Remember, when you get a pack of seeds like this, someone in the comments mentioned that they were going to put the whole pack in the refrigerator to stratify them. You need to take whatever seeds out you're going to use. Always remember that you only need 1 seed to get a beautiful plant. Okay. Typically, most of us will at least plant 3 to 6 seeds, like 2 seeds in each second, 2 seeds in each section, so that if one doesn't germinate, another one will. I do things a little bit differently when I'm planting my seeds. Typically, I will just plant 3, 1, 2, 3, space them out in a section or in one pot. I will put 1, 2, 3. And if 2 germinate and 1 don't, that's fine. If I find that after this amount of time goes by and I don't have any germination rate, I will go back and do it again. I will plant more. That is what I do. Why do I do it that way? Well, just like I don't like growing or starting my seeds indoors because it's a headache to me. I do not like the hardening off process. I don't like watching them. I don't like nets in my house. I don't like any of that. It's just the process I don't like. I do not like thinning out my seedlings. No, I don't want to thin out my seedlings. It's a chore. It's a pain. And it's like, okay, now I got all this and I got to go through. I don't want to do that. So I space 1, 2, 3 seeds out. If I do anything at all, I will put 2 seeds in each one. And as they start to come up, I will immediately take out the very smallest one. And yes, that is a form of thinning out, but I am not going to broadcast seeds, which we'll get to that in a minute. I'm not going to broadcast seeds because I don't want to have to go through and thin them all out. So that's it. It takes 14 to 21 days to germinate. It needs soil temp of 65 to 70 degrees Fahrenheit. That's how warm it needs to be for the seeds to finally germinate once they're in the soil. And they will do well in full or partial light. Now, to sow the seeds, the planting depth of mugwort is 0. That means you do not put that seed down in the soil. You need to just lay it on top and maybe sprinkle a little, take your fingers and like you're going to put some salt on something and sprinkle a little dirt on top of it or soil on top of it because the sowing depth is 0. That means it doesn't need to be in the soil at all. All right. So don't put it. And that's what I meant when I said broadcast. This is an excellent seed to broadcast, meaning take you a few that you've stratified, take you a few and just toss them out there. This is an excellent plant to do that with. Am I going to do that? No, because if I take up a good handful and broadcast them out there, I've got to go and thin them out. So I'm still going to take my little seeds, no matter how small they are. That's what tweezers are for. I'm going to take them or a wet finger and put that seed right on the soil. Does it take more time to do that? Yes, but it annoys me to have to thin seedlings. Do I have to thin seedlings? Sometimes no. It's inevitable that you just can't get away from it sometimes. But if I can avoid it, I will. So mugwort is number 3 in my medicinal gardening mini series. I'm Pam. This is Zone 8A. And anywhere you can sit a pot, you can grow a plant.